In this video, we will look at the answers for the assignment that you had to do in Monday. Now watch this video if you didn't get everything correctly on the assignment, or if you have got every questions correctly, still watch this video so that you might learn something from this. Okay, if you haven't done the assignment, finish that first and then watch this video. Okay, so we are analyzing Anton Webern's 5 pieces for string quartet, third movement. And the question asks you to identify at least 8 3 3s and 3 4s. Just to recap how to quickly find these set classes, you need to know how they are internally structured and looking at the intervals. So for 3 3, you have a major third, and then a half step minor second, right? For 3 4, you have perfect fourth and minor second, right? So you need to look for major third or perfect fourth to quickly find where these set classes occur. So take a look at the first one. We have 2, 11, and 3, which if you arranged it in this way, 11, 2, and 3, you create a B to D sharp, which is a major third, right? And then minor second here. So this is an example of 3, 3, 0, 1, 4. If you arrange it in a way that is 7, 10, 11, again, you create a major third here, G to B, and then there's a half step. So this is another example. Here this is a repetition of the earlier measures. So exactly same note, same position, same meter. So you're kind of setting up a standard or the expectation, right? And then what happens here is that we have 9, 0, and 8. Now there's a typo in the assignment. It's written as 7, but actually in the real score it's 8. So if you arrange it as 8, 9, 0, then you create A flat to C, which is major third, half step. So this is another example of set class 3, 3, 0, 1, 4, and 3, 0, 4. Again, another example of 0, 1, 4. Let's take a look at one more. How about taking into account this? We have 3, 0, 4 here, and if you actually take the C sharp, you also create another set class 0, 1, 4, right? Set class 3, 3. Same thing happens in the chord before. We have 9, 0, and 1. Let's take this one. Doesn't matter. Then we'll create 9, 0, and 1 is 0, 1, 9, right? So this is a major third, half step. So another example of 3, 3. Good. Now let's take a look at set class 3, 4. Set class 3, 4 is 0, 1, 5. So we need to look at perfect fifth. We have, let's say, D to A is A to D. This way, if you A to D, which is a perfect fourth, right? And then we have a half step in between. So this actually is an example of set class 3, 4. Same thing happens here. I will not go further. I'll just do it this way, and it doesn't happen in here because if you can see, there's no half step in any of these notes, right? So you will not be able to make neither 3, 3 or 3, 4. Now let's take a look at this one. We can see that this will create a set class 3, 4 because we have 5, 0, 4, 5. We have a 5 here and 1 here, right? This is another example of 3, 4 because we have this perfect fourth. I'll just use the interval as an integer, so 5, 1, right? So that's another example. We can also look at this we have 9, 1 and 2, we have 5 here, and this is 1, right? So that's another one. How about this 3? We have 7 to 0 and 11. So we have 5 and there's a 1. Good. Take a look at this 3. We have 1, 5 and 6, which this is 5 and this is 1. Okay, so let's say this is what we have so far. Now that we know a harmony, think of this as an example of Roman numeral analysis. Can we think of ways to figure out how this 4 measures are structured? Does it resemble any of the form that you already know? You probably can tell that this thing happening here, happening again, and then happening in a different direction, which with the ending with this different kind of a harmony, right? We have, in other words, a structure that looks like this, right? X, X, and Y. And the length is about a measure, and 2 measures. So it looks actually like a atonal version of a sentence, right? Yeah, so it's atonal sentence in a way. So that's one way that you can kind of see the connection between this and the tonal music. Let's actually start answering the questions now. So you can go by answering the questions, and you can see that which trichord appears primarily the staccato chords, 3-3, because if you look at this staccato chord here, they're all 3-3s here. Chord, in this case, they're talking about the notes that happens simultaneously in vertical line. 3-4 is more likely a melody because of this lines, right? Melodically happening in horizontally. This one is a little bit more vertical, but still you can see this 5-4-0 happening here. 0-11-7 happening here. Yeah, so those are more like the melody than the chord. How about the next answer? Where does the chord motive appear as a melody? Chord motive appears as a melody in measure 6, where you can see the chord motive, which is what? Chord motive is set class 3-3, 0-1-4, right? So if you look at this 3 notes, you can see that 0-3-4 is, there's a major third and a half step. E flat to G natural, major third, and then 6-7 is half step, major third and half step again here, right? So now the role is reversed, which the trichord that used to be used as a chord now happens as a melody. How about the other sonority though? In measure 6, how are the melodic lines related to the staccato? How are the melodic lines related to the staccato pizzicato chords? So if you look at this, we have 0-3-4. If you look at this way, there's also 0-3-4, right? And we have 3-6-7. If you look at this way, you also have 3-6-7. We have 4-7-8 here. If you look at this, 4-7-8 here, right? So it actually does, it's kind of what they call a magic square, right? We have, so 3-6-7, 0-3-4, 4-7-8. They do this, which is an interesting way to organize a trichord. And when you hear this, you probably will be able to tell that it kind of repeats the same type of quality, chordal quality here. Okay, so that's what it happened. In measure 7, how are the violins and cellos are related? Not everybody answered this correctly, so let me just go through real quickly. What you need to do first is to put all these notes, use the different color, put all these notes in normal order, which is this. This is the notes as they occur, and this is the notes in normal order. Okay, And after you put them in normal order, you need to find the interval pattern, which is here 1 2 1 2 2 1 and 1 2 2 1 2 1. Right? So you can see that because the interval, let's say 2 2 1, is happening in here for violin melody, and for cello 1 2 2 1 happens in the front. So you can see that they are inversionally related. Right? So we need to find the index number, which is 1. In other words, if you put, let's say 8, I'm going to use a green one. It doesn't seem to show well. I'll use this. We have 8, 9, 11, 10, 1, 3, 4. 8, 9, 11, 12, 10, 1, 2, 4. And 9, 10, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we know that they are inversionally related. Right? So we need to add those two, which adds up to 13, adds up to 13, adds up to 1, and so on. So that you will see that they all add up to either 13 or 1, which in the clock phase is all equals to 1. So they are related by T1I. Okay, so that's the answer for this. Okay, so they are related by T1I. And then the last question, again, not everybody gave the proper answer. So answer for this is that you need to actually figure out the staggered trichordal ordering. So what I mean by that is this. These three notes, these three notes, these three notes, these three notes, and these three notes. There are 5 different trichords interlocking with each other. And these are that notes here. This. So, and they're related by all inversions. So you need to figure those out one by one. Yeah. Same thing for the cello. You need to get this note, this note, this note, and this note. I'm missing one, but you get the idea. So that's the answer, and these are the ways they're related.